Hey sellers, want to know how to stage your home when you're getting ready to sell it for under $500? I'm going to tell you right now on this episode of R&R Ryan and Real Estate. All right, sellers, this one's for you. How do you actually sell and stage your home without spending thousands of dollars on staging? I'm gonna tell you how to do that. Under $500, you're gonna think it's amazing. Maybe it's really not that amazing, but I would tell you, if you don't have any money to stage, you for sure wanna listen to this. Before we get into that, if you have not done so, take a minute, subscribe to our channel. We would love to hear from you. Drop us a comment, follow us on all of our social channels. We're here to help deliver value as much as we possibly can. All right, let's jump right into it. So staging is actually a super important part of selling your home, because if you walk through your home and it doesn't look like someone could live in it, they're not going to want to buy it and give you hundreds of thousands of dollars for something they don't feel like they could maybe live in. So that's why staging is super important. Statistics show that when you stage your home, whether you're using someone else's furniture like a professional staging company or your own, you will make 8% more, that's the minimum, than if you did not stage it. So kind of no-brainer, you want to stage it. Now, a lot of times the problem comes in if you use a professional staging company, which sometimes you really do need to do that. But a lot of times you're talking minimum $3,000, $4,000 in cost to do so. So if you're still living in your home or you've moved out and you're like, how do I stage my home? I'll give you some super simple tips on how to do it. And these are the 5 things that you can do that are under $500 to help you stage your home and make it look in its best possible light. All right, number 1, and guess how much this one cost? $0, is declutter and depersonalize your home. That's the number 1 thing I would suggest you do, is declutter. Of every listing appointment I go on and I'm sellers asking what should I do, the number 1 thing is decluttering your home. We all have tons of stuff and we don't really see our stuff like other people might see it. So you need to really declutter down 50, 60, sometimes 75% of the stuff you have to make it look as open and livable as possible without your stuff. And also part of that is depersonalization. Take down the photos of yourself, make someone feel like this is just a show home and they can move right in and put their picture on the wall, not yours. So make it as depersonal. That might mean your favorite sports teams, take those down. Baby photos, your name, those fun things you love putting on your wall. Even your favorite decor items may not be the best if it doesn't really fit the home or it's not the best for staging. So that's number 1. Tip number 2, again, doesn't cost you anything, is rearrange your furniture. So you might like the way that couch is sitting in front of the TV, but that might not be the best position to be able to make your home look the way it should, as livable, open, the layout you might want. And the furniture can a lot of times create stumbling blocks because people can't see past it. So for instance, when you're walking into an entryway, if there's a big, huge credenza or table right in the front, it may make your hallway look smaller. So making sure you rearrange the furniture so that it has an open feel. And again, this one's gonna cost you $0. Number 3, this one I'm gonna put at $100, is invest in neutral bedding and throw pillows. So say you have some couches, say you have your master bed, maybe you love that comforter that just feels so great at night when you get to bed and whatever, but it doesn't look the best in photos. So we like to use white and or neutral looking bedding, and then finding throw pillows that are neutral that or have maybe a pop of color that add to your living room couch or your game room couch or whatever that might be. Number 4 is add greenery and flowers. We'll say this costs you $50. But when you walk outside, we would like to have fresh flowers, not old dying flowers sitting by the doorstep, but new fresh flowers. Maybe even throw in some new mulch, but just fresh bedding and flowers so that when someone walks up, it feels like it's new. Even though we know it's not, it has that feel and brings that freshness to it. All right, number 5, this one's gonna cost you $150, but it is improving your lighting. One of the things that drives me crazy is when you walk through a house and there's 19 different colors of lighting. You've got real soft lighting, you got really bright lighting, you got fluorescent lighting. Just go through your house and pick one color of lighting. We usually typically do a 2700K, but pick that lighting and make everything that way so it all has a very similar setting, ambiance, and that really is a huge improvement that doesn't really cost a lot. Last one I'm gonna give you is a bonus, and that is touch up paint. This could cost you $200, but it could be repainting the trim, repainting the corners of the trim that have gotten a little rough from maybe the kids or the animals or whatever. And I will also give you a warning on this. If you are going to touch up, be very careful. Make sure you're doing that in very non-visible areas in your home, because sometimes the color may not match perfectly. If you are going to do touch up, make sure you are testing that out somewhere that's not super visible, so that in case it doesn't match, you don't want to do that touch up. It would be better to just repaint the whole thing. But touch ups, really what you want to focus on here is the baseboards, the doors, and any kind of big marks that are made on there or big holes that you're touching that up. Of course, it feels like a no-brainer, but I can't tell you how many homes I go through where this has not happened. There are 6 things that will cost you under $500. Some is just a little sweat equity, and some you gotta put a little money into, but no-brainers that you should at least spend the money on this to getting your home staged the best that you possibly can. Now, in the end, this isn't the end-all be-all. Sometimes you've gotta spend way more money than this, but if you only had that, you would at least want to do. There you go. That is this episode of Ryan in Real Estate. If you have any other questions, as always, if we can do anything for you, let us know. Another episode of Ryan in Real Estate. We'll see you next week.